So Beth, I was driving around campus the other day and I see we have intramural fields, the Epic Center is being built, new parking decks, the Uptown Center. Where's all the money coming from? Because is it affecting the academic core and what we teach? Is it affecting students?
Actually, our money for capital projects, buildings, comes from two basic sources. And the first source is from appropriations, and the second one is from basically revenues generated by those projects. So let me talk about the first one first. In many cases, such as Epic in Center City, we receive state appropriations for capital. And those state appropriations are to build the buildings specifically supported by those appropriations. So for example, if we get $76 million to build a building like Epic, we have to spend that money to build the building. We don't get to change, we don't get to decide, no, we'd really like to have another building and use it for another purpose. But we can only use it to build a building and only the one they approve. So a lot of those buildings, especially the academic buildings, are supported by state appropriations. Other of the buildings are supported often by debt or funded by debt that's supported by revenues generated from the project. So for example, parking decks, we issue debt to build the parking deck and we repay that debt using permit revenues from parking. We're in the process of finishing up Phase 9 housing, and we issue debt to do that, and we'll repay that through rent revenues for the housing. There are occasionally projects that are funded through donors, and we have several of those that are in process right now that have received significant funding through donors. Motorsports expansion is one of those. A new tennis facility is an example of that also. So money for capital can come from several different sources, appropriations, or fee-supported, or from donors as well.
Okay, so depending where the money comes from is what you're calling the color of money.
Yes, the color of money refers to the source of the money and also the restrictions that apply to its use.
Thank you, Beth.
You're welcome.